Thank you, Stephen. How time flies. Did plenty of those with that man there, Billy Dodds, who leads Cali Thistle out, facing the most monumental of challenges. The SFA celebrating its 150th anniversary this year with the final of the Scottish Football Association Challenge Cup taking centre stage today. History beckons, no matter the outcome. 16 teams, including Queen's Park, Kilmarnock and Third Lanark, kicked off the first edition of the tournament in 1873. 25 clubs have won the competition since then. 1955 was the year it was first televised to the nation. It finished 1-1. The replay didn't make it onto TV screens at all. Not sure they get away with that these days. The 2023 edition gives us a fixture that's adorned this competition in the modern era. A fixture that's provided outcomes that have made a mockery of pre-match odds. And if Inverness Caledonian Thistle derail Ange Postecoglou and Celtic's historic 8th treble today, it would surely go down as the biggest shock of all. Pre-match rituals will take place now. Celtic and their supporters with another magnificent tifo to rival the one they unveiled at Celtic Park last week in that final league match, where they really did return to form. And we can probably forgive them for going off the boil a little bit, having sealed the title a good few weeks back. The headlines all week have been about the future of the Celtic manager and whether or not Ange Postecoglou's glittering time in Glasgow is into its final chapter. He has a chance to create the kind of history that even 6 years ago would have seemed fanciful by this point, when the club sat on 3 trebles. An unprecedented 8th is on the line, and star striker Kyogo Furahashi's made it despite coming off injured last weekend. Same goes for Alistair Johnston. They were back to their best, as I say. Maida is back from suspension. Callum McGregor, the captain, has never lost a cup final, and he's the only survivor in the starting 11 from Celtic's last final in this competition. It's been a month since Cali Thistle finished their championship campaign, and that disappointing defeat to Ayr United that cost them a shot at the playoffs and promotion. Just the one alteration from the semi-final. David Carson returns at the expense of Dan Mackay. Top scorer Billy Mackay was in the Northampton team that defied the 3-tier gap to defeat Liverpool at Anfield in an English League Cup tie in 2010. He's their top scorer and is one off Dennis Wyness's goal-scoring record. It could, like many, be his last game for the club. Danny Devine starts his second Scottish Cup final for the Cali Jags. Well, he's been brushing off all the talk of Tottenham Hotspur for more than a week now. It did seem to escalate as last week went on. 41-year-old communications manager John Beaton takes charge of his second Scottish Cup final. His other one was Celtic's win over Hearts in 2020 on penalties. He's also done a couple of League Cup finals, both won by Celtic. Stephen McLean, incidentally, is on video assistant duties today, with VAR involved in the Scottish Cup final for the first time. The mercury is round about 21 degrees Celsius here at kick-off on Glasgow's south side, as Celtic get the Scottish Cup final underway at Hampden. Celtic against Inverness Caledonian Thistle, who, contrary to popular opinion, do have a chance. 33-1 shots in some places, right enough, but it has happened before. Just ask those who saw Partick Thistle thrash Celtic 4-1 here in the 1971 League Cup final. However, Scotland's champions are monumental favourites, James McFadden.
Yeah, they are. They're playing some brilliant football. And, it's a huge task for Inverness Caledonian Thistle today. They will believe it cause an upset, but in order to do that, they have to beat their absolute maximum, every single player, and hope Celtic have an off day. I know it's the old cliche, but Celtic, when they get going, get into their stride, they are relentless. They'll put Inverness Caledonian under all sorts of pressure, and it's whether they can stand up to that. Interestingly, how they've set up. Billy Mackay's playing off the left-hand side. Shaw's playing more central. Jay Henderson in a more advanced role. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for them, how long that lasts.
Yeah, the expectation clearly is on Celtic. It's clearly huge, but this club's head's heavy enough to wear the crown. It's proven that time and again. Well, this current team does not look like one that will buckle under pressure. They are champions again for a reason. Carl Starfelt there. He was 28 on Thursday. And Tomoki Iwata playing beside him at centre-half with Cameron Carter. Vickers, of course, out since the semi-final victory over Rangers. Starfelt trying to find Greg Taylor playing as the inverted left-back as Ange Postecoglou's sides enjoy to do. You'll see Taylor and Johnston pop up in the middle of the pitch plenty this afternoon.
That's good work from Billy Mackay. You know, Greg Taylor is picking up those advanced positions in midfield, and the ball's forced through. Inverness win it back, comes up to Billy Mackay, uses all his know-how to buy that foul, take the pressure off.
Inverness will want to get a good foothold in this. Starfelt sees it behind. They've had a couple of friendly matches. You might have heard Billy Dodds mentioning that earlier. They played Dungannon Swifts of the Northern Irish top flight, 11th in that table. Nairn County were another of their opponents, 7th place in this season's Highland League. Well, Celtic, obviously, after winning the title at Tynecastle, were not producing the same level of performances, but they were back with a bang against Aberdeen last week. You couldn't live with them. It's a little bit off target for Jota. He was the semi-final hero against Rangers.
It's far from ideal preparation for Billy Dodds. You have to get the games in, you have to get, keep the players sharp, but there's no substitute for competitive football. But he's dealt with it the best way he can. A lot of time to think about his preparation for this game, a lot of time to work on it, and the players will have to remain concentrated for the whole game to make sure they can carry it out.
It's Billy Dodds' 100th game in charge of Inverness today, making the most of their reprieve. They lost to Queen's Park. Good play by Jay Henderson there. He's on loan from St Mirren. He's been excellent. He and Dan Mackay were terrific in that win over Falkirk. They eased through. There's Rio Hatate, and Thistle will be happy if Hatate's aim's off for the rest of this final. That's a rarity. It's a foul by Billy Mackay. Jota up against Cameron Harper, who could have his work cut out today against the Portuguese. He too can't find a teammate. And Inverness have seen out the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they have. They have. It is going to be a big day for Cameron Harper, there's no doubt about it. Does really well, doesn't commit to the challenge on Jota, forces him down the wing, and it's a poor cross by Jota standards.
Bounces back up, looking for Maida.
That could be a problem for Inverness. They're going for the diagonal ball. Wallace Duffy's going to challenge Greg Taylor. But if they don't win it, it leaves that gap down that left-hand side for Celtic, the right-hand side for Inverness Caledonian. And they will play the ball forward quick, meaning one of the centre-backs is going to have to come out to Maida.
Here's Hatate looking for Kyogo. 33 goals for the season. Numerous Player of the Year awards as well. These for Shaw. Celtic fans here in expectation. No other club anywhere has won 8 trebles. Could all change within the next hour and a half or so. Wata for O'Reilly. Now one back. Maybe Scott Allardyce is going to be such an important player for the Highlanders today. I'm not going to get the corner. Bobby Dees, he, like many at Cali Thistle, have had their injury problems this season, and actually they were besieged by problems in that regard in the autumn time, and I'm convinced that if they didn't have those injury problems that they would have been real title contenders.
Yeah, they would have. Such a horrific injury list that Billy Dodds had to deal with. But to get, you know, so close to making the playoffs, to be in a Scottish Cup final is remarkable. I agree with you. If everybody was fit for the whole season, I think they would have put up a real title challenge.
People will say, yeah, look, they were knocked out, but hey, they went on to beat 2 Premiership teams in the subsequent rounds, in the shape of Livingston and Kilmarnock. Celtic's route to Hampden has been pretty seamless. 2 5-goal hauls against Morton and St Mirren. Banging the goals in, including that quarter-final 3-0 win at Tynecastle. Getting past Rangers in the semis here. Jota goal just before half-time. The front line for Celtic, Jota there, Maida and Kyogo have scored 58 goals between them this season. Some firepower.
Plenty of assists in there as well.
Yep.
Not just goals from them.
So Wata, there he is, primarily a midfield player. He was the player of the year in Japan before he arrived at Celtic, so quite clearly of a similar high standard to his countrymen who have been superb since signing, playing in the green and white.
Spoken to a few of the Celtic players and they say he's brilliant as well. Really good footballer. Obviously playing in central defence, but he'll take the ball, he'll play the ball forward, he'll take it under pressure.
There's O'Reilly. Celtic beginning, you sense, to get into their stride here. Guys in Maida. Tate back to Iwata. He's got it through to Kyogo. Jota happy to accept the corner, the first of the final. 10th minute.
I think that's the thing with Iwata playing as a central defender. He's so comfortable on the ball that if there's no pressure on, he will find the passes.
Jota's cross headed clear. McGregor looking to win his 20th winner's medal. As I said at the start, he hasn't lost a single final, whether that's at youth level or senior. Maida. There's Taylor and O'Reilly. Taylor off Carson. Carson back defending that area. That's not going to be alien to him. He's played plenty matches at right back in his career. Sean Welsh involved there, a Youth Cup winner in his time at Hibs.
Offside call there on Greg Taylor.
He's going to have to get rid of that jacket at some point. It's boiling.
Might be too late. Sweat patches under there, Liam.
Ange Postecoglou's got his on, but to be fair, he was born in Greece and brought up in Australia, so that's a different ballgame. Here's Jota. Well, Kyogo was the only target to hit in the middle at the point of the attempted cross from Jota. Duffy. Hatate. Tipped up here by Nathan Shaw. Allardyce. Henderson might have gone a little bit too early there. Had he got onto that? You never know. Kyogo had just gone off to his left-hand side there. Ridger's clearance, that wasn't what he intended. They've made it work anyway. Carson as well. There's Duffy.
He worked it well there, Inverness, kept the ball well. Then I think that option to play in behind for Billy Mackay, Carl Starfelt really quick. That's maybe a better option to play it into Billy Mackay's feet for him to hold it up, get support. But it was good play leading up to that.
Starfelt at walking pace. Johnston for Jota. Trying to trap Johnston. Matt O'Reilly seems to top up absolutely everywhere. We're going to see a lot of this. Keeps it in. Level with the 6. Tati. Wata. He's overhit that. It's a glorious sight for Billy Dodds and his players.
Yeah, as Wata just forcing that ball through to Alistair Johnson. Just overhit. It's been, well organised, good shape from Inverness Caledonian, make Celtic force those passes.
Cameron Carter-Vickers there, frustrated onlooker. Straight after the semi, in fact, his manager said that was his season over. He'll be back at the start of the next campaign. Just looking at the Cali Thistle supporters off to my left here, they've still come in good numbers, obviously. I can't help but thinking of Tommy Cumming, who they lost, the long-time groundsman at the Caledonian Stadium, who they lost just before the semi-final, and I know this would have been a very proud day for him. He sadly missed around the club. Free kick here for Celtic, and this is in a good position. Maida brought down by Duffy. The eyes on the ball, but Maida nicked in ahead of him. What do you think? Have a go from here?
Yeah, I think Jota might fancy it. More than likely, he was stepping up. Matt O'Reilly's going to, unless he's faking it, swing that towards the back post area.
Jota scored a magnificent free kick goal in the Bernabeu against Real Madrid in their final Champions League match this season. It didn't count for much. Still enjoyed it, but he's left the scene. O'Reilly with it. Johnston's headers come back to McGregor. Jota. It's a wave of attack repelled. It's a difficult one for the opposition because you don't want to sit too deep and encourage Celtic onto you, because even if you do that and try and make it as difficult as possible, they'll get you. They'll get you eventually.
Yeah, they will. But I think Inverness are trying to sit not so deep, but deep enough to try and, you know, get in a better position to win the ball back, so there's not so much ground to go and cover when they try and go on the counter-attack, try and close those gaps, stop Celtic from playing through them. And so far it's worked well for them.
This cup run has meant a lot to Caledonian Thistle. Yes, they get a second bite of it, but they posted massive losses, relatively speaking. So their Scottish Cup run, even they've missed out on promotion, has been of paramount importance, not just to their season, but potentially to the club's future. And it could get even better for them if they cause the upset today.
Yeah, you hear about clubs, you know, they budget for a league position and hope they can get a cup run. Clearly, with the losses that they've posted, it means so much for them just to be here. But they've shown that, you know, they have a belief they can cause Celtic enough problems, certainly stifle them a little bit in terms of their fluent football, but they've yet to really test Celtic at all going forward.
Sitting right now on about 75% possession. No shots on target though, in fact no shots at all as yet. This was a boxing match. Inverness will be just trying to get through as many rounds as they possibly could. Let's see what happens later on. There's Starfelt. Fans wanted him to hit it there. Tate spots Jota. It's only half clear. Riley can't quite find the target.
Yeah, Starfelt wound it up as if he was going to shoot. And then these are the passes you're used to seeing. Well defended initially. Well, however, you don't head it back into the centre of the goal. Tate and O'Reilly both onto it. Just can't get good enough contact on it, Matt O'Reilly.
Good signing, Matt O'Reilly. They haven't had too many who have dropped into the flop category. Jota. Back to the metronome of the Celtic team, Callum McGregor. Loose one. Can't make anything of it. Celtic haven't quite got the engine running and the temperature they would like it to be running at as yet. Here's Jay Henderson. Allardyce out to Harper. Wizards decided to take a touch. That was a nervy moment for the Caledonian Thistle fans. We've got Kyogo around. The Scottish champions not at full tilt yet.
No, they haven't been able to get, you know, the speed in their passing, speed in their movement. Caledonian Thistle really, you know, closed up those gaps, making Celtic force the pass at times and not allowing them to go and, you know, play at the speed they would like to. But we know that can come in an instant from Celtic, just that change of pace.
Driving run by McGregor. Maida. misunderstanding with Hatate. The guys were talking about it pre-match. This has been a pretty even fixture in Scottish Cup terms. This is the 8th time they've met. Celtic are 4-3 up on the head-to-head. For them at the moment.
It's these areas where you're so used to seeing, you know, the speed in the pass, the speed in the movement. Matt O'Reilly makes a brilliant run. We've seen it all season. Then Jota reacts to that and makes the run inside. I think Matt O'Reilly has to play it a little bit earlier, or play it. He doesn't play it at all, but he has to play it into the path of Jota and move Inverness and make them have to go and work him out of the slots that they're sitting in. He's just lacking that tempo to the play at the minute.
This is Celtic's 60th appearance in the Scottish Cup final. Includes 1909 when the trophy was withheld because of crowd trouble between Celtic and Rangers supporters. It's something you cannot afford to do. Here's Jota. He decided to try and tee up Hatate. Might be regretting that now, the slip.
That's a chance, big chance, best chance of the game for Celtic. So speak about their play on the ball, they work so hard off it, and when Jota comes inside here, you're expecting him just to have the shot. He just runs away, Hatate with the slip. That is a big opportunity for Celtic. Jota in particular, he has to get his shot away there.
By Henderson, it really was. The pressure. Of course, there are ramifications for other clubs. The outcome of this final today, out with these two. Celtic win would have an effect on a few Premiership clubs. Aberdeen would stand to gain the most. The guaranteed European group stage football to come for them. If Celtic lift the trophy, it would move hearts around further on in Conference League qualifying, and it would result in Hibernian moving into a European place as well. Caledonian Thistle doing their utmost to ensure that doesn't transpire.
That'd be huge for both Aberdeen and Hibs. You know, Hibs then get that European spot, and as you say, Aberdeen get the guaranteed group stage football. Both of these sets of fans will be sitting here hoping for a Celtic win, and can't often say that.
Of course, those wonderful prizes would fall Caledonian Thistle's way if they can produce the greatest upset in Scottish Cup final history. It's going to be a corner, just bobbled off the shin of Allardyce. Approaching the 25-minute mark, no goals thus far. O'Reilly sends it in. Starfelt was there, he scored from a header from a corner last week. No panic from a Celtic point of view at this stage. It's a team that can score goals in gluts, lots of them.
First goal in the game is huge. You know, Celtic will continue to probe, will continue to make those movements, move Inverness Caledonian around the pitch in the belief that the gaps will open and they will be able to exploit it. And as you say, if they manage to get that first goal, they always seem to get a positive reaction from that.
Maida. Cross it comes. Eventually they get it away. That just took a little deflection as it flew across the 6-yard box. Joe Hart, who's been a spectator in the opening 26 and a half. Jota. Caledonian Thistle doing a better job than some Premiership teams this season at keeping this Celtic side tamed. St Mirren have had the one with the Rangers. St Mirren probably have had the best luck against the champions this season. Beaten them last September in Paisley for a long old time. That was Celtic's only league defeat. Lost a couple to Rangers and Hibs after they'd sealed the title. Of course, got a draw against them in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago. They should have won that game. It's Johnston. And it's Welsh who uses all his experience to get his team the free kick and just stymie yet another Celtic attack.
The matches are on really well. Sean Welsh makes sure he gets his body in as Alistair Johnston goes down the line. In fact, this probably should have been a foul. 2 hands on his back. And Alistair Johnston diving in. Sean Welsh buying that free kick.
Inverness hoping to become the 4th team from outside the top flight to win the Scottish Cup. Queen's Park did it in 1893, East Fife 1938 and Hibernian in 2016. And of course, coming at a time where some of Scottish football's behemoths were gracing the 2nd tier. So Riley, important intervention there by Robbie Dees. Broke his leg earlier this season. Dees back in at the heart of defence with Danny Devine. And now it's John Beaton getting howled at by the supporters for getting in the road. Be an uncontested drop ball in Celtic's favour.
It's always helpful if you get an extra body in there to block those passes off there.
Almost on the half-hour mark. It's a nice comfy take for Mark Ridgers. He must have thought in the first half hour of this final he would have been tested more than he has been. He must be delighted right now.
Yeah, without doubt. I think most people thought Celtic would put Caledonian Thistle under so much pressure and Mark Ridgers would be really busy. But as you say, he'll be absolutely delighted up to this point. But I don't think he'll be getting complacent thinking it's going to be like this for the rest of the game.
Graham. This is Jota. It's going to be a tiring old afternoon for Inverness. Chasing Celtic players around these conditions. Some more eyebrow raising going on around us.
Yeah, you don't often see it. Matt O'Reilly, he's looking for a run as soon as the ball comes. Jota makes one, then he tries to lay it off to Callum McGregor, who's trying to go round him. Johnston's trying to go round him. He tries to play it back and out for the throw-in. Don't see many of them.
Not sure if you were ever in the position, James, but see if you're a player, you're amongst your squad during the week and your manager's been linked heavily with another job. Does that filter into the minds of the players, or do you just cast that aside? That's nothing to do with you.
No, I think you're obviously aware of it. But, you know, it's in the build-up to a massive cup final, going for a treble. I think the players will be fully focused on the job at hand. But certainly, you know, he looks clearly a popular figure amongst the players, and they'll be desperate for him to stay. But I think that, you know, the focus, and Ange Postecoglou himself has kind of batted away the speculation to say that he's got a game to prepare for. I think that'll be the case for the players as well.
Tati couldn't quite squeeze it through to Kyogo. Right, highlights of the Scottish Cup final to come, 11:20 tonight. BBC One Scotland. Tomorrow, you get highlights of the Premiership playoff final second leg, 8:30 on the BBC Scotland channel. Partick Thistle, of course, 2-0 up on Ross County, who will be battling to save their top flight status in Dingwall tomorrow. Will the Jags rue not scoring another couple Thursday night for Hill? Callum McGregor, we're going to get them going. Maida. Tati. It just bounced off Carson. That was actually pretty fortuitous. He'll settle for it. Henderson. Inverness players being roared on by their supporters who are right behind them there.
Billy Mackay does brilliantly. When he knocks it down to Jay Henderson, he's got space to run into. He's just travel, take it up the line. Tries the difficult diagonal. And that was really good play from Billy Mackay initially.
Maida. Just open up a little bit for Maida. Scorer in the League Cup semis here against Kilmarnock in January.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. He's looking for Jay Henderson to take Maida when he comes inside, to allow him to take that run from Greg Taylor. Both of them attracted to the ball, allowing for the space for Maida to come into it.
Sure, Billy Dodds would have little milestones in his head in the preparation for this one. He's had a long old time to prepare for it, to try and keep Celtic out. 15 minutes, half an hour, half time.
Yeah, I think they would have gone up in 5 minutes, Liam, not 15.
All right, you're probably right. Stuffy continuing this act of frustration in the face of the best team in the country. Greg Taylor's in another superb season. It took him a little while to win the Celtic supporters over, but he's made that left-back berth his own. And fair enough, when you've got Kieran Tierney, you know, the long-term left-back before that, you're setting a high benchmark, but he's been excellent.
Yeah, he has. Big shoes to fill, and Kieran Tierney, but Greg Taylor has been sensational, he really has. Particularly coming into that midfield area, picking the ball up, playing forward passes, but just his energy.
Here goes Johnston. Blocked by Dees. Pops out to Harper, who deals with it excellently well. Decides to have another go to Jota. Scotland Thistle players will gain in confidence with every passing second. This is a level game. Chance here though. Ridgers holds on. Matt O'Reilly. Shot on target though.
Was never troubling Ridgers in the goal. It's that run that we're so used to seeing. Inside channel for O'Reilly. I think he's trying to just flash that across the goal. There's no one there to take it anyway. It's a comfortable one for Ridgers. Those are the type of saves that he wants to make.
Good for him to get a feel of the ball as well, though.
I think it shows how well Caley Thistle have done it. 36 minutes in, you're saying it's good for the Caley goalkeeper to get a touch of the ball.
They've certainly crammed plenty in to their 30 years. At the end of this year that the amalgamation happened, it was a bitter old process. And Clach decided they wanted to be no part of it, and Caledonian and Thistle came together. Here's O'Reilly. Kyogo! And just like that, Celtic's Star of the East points them towards more history. In the blink of an eye, Celtic take the lead.
Well, you knew that they could change the tempo in an instant, and that's exactly what they've done. Kyogo has barely touched the ball all game, but you know when you're getting the opportunity to flash the ball across, his movement is outstanding, and his finishing matches that. He's barely touched the ball all game. It's brilliant from Matt O'Reilly. Look at the movement from Kyogo, and what a finish it is. He has barely been in the game, but so often he makes a difference. Unbelievable striker play, really good set-up play. You felt it was coming, Celtic were getting into the areas, and they've managed to find their man on this occasion, and Kyogo makes no mistake. Tremendous goal from Celtic.
Following in the footsteps of some magnificent Celtic strikers. Dalglish, Hughes, Chalmers, Quinn, Larsson, Lennox, and still the king of goals at Celtic, Jimmy McGrory. Kyogo Furuhashi is a modern-day Celtic hero. And that puts the favourites, the overwhelming favourites, in front. And it just breaks that air of frustration that was beginning to envelop Hampden Park. It's a long ball clipped forward for Mackay as Caley Thistle look for an immediate riposte. It's offside anyway.
It's just incredible, isn't it? Kyogo has barely been in the game, but you know that when Matt O'Reilly faces him up, as soon as he shifts it, you know that Kyogo is going to be there. The speed of his movement is ridiculous, and the composure when he gets in there, he doesn't lash at it, he just guides it beyond Ridgers, who's had absolutely no chance with it. There's very little to do, but Kyogo, he doesn't have to be in the game, he needs one opportunity. He is so clinical.
That goal coming in the last sort of 7 minutes of the first half. Celtic on the corner. Now they will play with even more freedom. O'Reilly, crossing comes, little dummy from Jota. Allardyce finds Carson, who digs it out. No surprise to see Matt O'Reilly tee it up as well. Nobody had more assists than Matt O'Reilly in the Premiership this season.
There's a few occasions where he's been in that position and maybe taking an extra touch or slowed it down a little bit. But as soon as he gets faced up, he knows he's going to shift it onto the right and flash it across, which they've been doing all season. And Kyogo is so alert, it's so difficult to pick him up. Speed, sharpness, how clinical he is in the finish.
He's already a Celtic legend. He's only been at the club 2 seasons. And he's on it again, looking to double up! Not quite. Not this time.
Great movement again from Kyogo, look at that. He just drags Robbie Dees in short. It's brilliant movement. You expect the net to bulge, he just gets it wrong. He's going for the outside of the boot to just curl that beyond Matt Ridgers, but the movement is sensational to create that space.
I don't say it lightly that he's a Celtic legend, but he's scored 34 goals this season. He scored both goals in their League Cup final win over Hibs last season. He scored both goals in their League Cup win over Rangers this season. You mix all that together, and he has created quite a career for himself in the green and white hoops, and he's made his mark on the Scottish Cup final for the first time.
And that's the problem when you come up against him, because he's not a focal point of the attack. It doesn't have to go through him. He's just so clever, picks up brilliant positions. You know, the guys were speaking about it before the game, standing offside position, making defenders work and try to figure out where he is. But like that last cut there, he drags Robbie Dees in, and the speed at which he peels off.
Yeah, there's Jota. These are important times for Inverness, meantime. We do not want to concede another before the break. It could be lights out at that point. Well, by all accounts, as it stands, 3 minutes to the break, in the age of massive injury time spells, there's not going to be any. As it stands, but that just shows you how long Celtic have had the ball in play. It's a clear ball by Duffy. The Celtic side need no invitation. Jota is brought down, and then Carson apologises for booting the ball off Jota, and he's earned himself a yellow card there as well. It's the first of the final.
He just stands on it. Sean Welsh steaming in.
The yellow for David Carson, restored to the starting 11 this afternoon. There will be a little minute added on now after all that. Taylor. Clearance. Henderson scampering forward. He's only got one up with him at the moment. It's Nathan Shaw. Well, in fairness, he was struggling for support for a fairly long time there as he made his way up the pitch. Final minute of the 45.
Yeah, I mean, Inverness are going to have to put some bodies forward to try and get level. They don't have to force it, of course. There's still a lot to play. When Jay Henderson goes down the right-hand side, very difficult for the support to get there, because they've been so used to sitting back in a shape to frustrate Celtic. We get the chance to break. He is quick as well, and they don't have a great deal of pace anywhere else in the side, Caledonian Thistle, so it's difficult to make up that ground.
Another subplot to this final from a Celtic point of view is if they win it, they go to within one of Rangers' total trophy haul. And I couldn't keep that in play. That's the 45 up. And that is half-time at Hampden. And he is the main man yet again. He would have been on a few first goal scorer betting slips today, Kyogo Furuhashi. I'm not sure you would have got that terrific odds for putting it down on the slip, but there you go. He's the man who's come up with a big moment for Celtic, teed up by O'Reilly. He smashed it home as we crept towards the half-time interval. A massive goal from Kyogo Furuhashi, his latest huge strike for Celtic Football Club. And as you can see, Celtic are making a change for the second half with Liel Abada coming on. And Daisen Maeda is the player who's been replaced. Well, the team that scores the first goals only lost the Scottish Cup final 3 times out of the last 34. Celtic against Rangers in 2002, Dunfermline against Celtic in 2004, which was Henrik Larsson's last match in the green and white hoops, and Aberdeen in 2017. And that was the final that saw Celtic win the first of the quadruple treble. It was the invincible treble. To think they went into that season with just 3 trebles in their history, and by the close of business today they could have 8, as a measure of how successful the last 5 or 6 years have been for this club. No changes for Cali Thistle, who'll shoot right to left towards Mount Florida, the west end of the stadium. Celtic shooting east. Is there, James McFadden, a way back for the Highlanders?
I think it is very difficult. You know, Cali Thistle played really well in the first half, defensively against the ball, frustrated Celtic to a point, but they still found the breakthrough. They've yet to test Joe Hart, they've yet to offer anything going forward.
And Keogh goes in again here, Ridgers comes to meet him. It's good goalkeeping.
It's a magnificent pass, and no surprise, Keogh goes on the end of it.
He's offside, isn't he? Anyway.
Yeah. Strays offside. It's still a great pass and good goalkeeping from Ridgers to read it.
Cali Thistle were the last team out with Rangers to beat Celtic in this tournament. They did so in that semi-final, though they did it in controversial circumstances. I think Josh Meekings produced one of the saves of the season that day. It was missed by the officials. It was a Lee Griffiths goal-bound header kept out. It simply wouldn't have stood in the VAR era, which we are now into. It's been quite the season when you consider the introduction of the video assistant in Scotland. Of course, we knew it was going to give us plenty to talk about, plenty of controversy, so it's proved. O'Reilly, Keogh goes on his bike again, but Ridgers read the danger. He's just finding these little pockets more and more. Since the goal, you're seeing him in there more often.
Yeah, and the speed is there for Celtic as well in the play. You know, Ange Postecoglou clearly unhappy with the performance, making that substitute as well. Abada coming on from Maida. But, you know, Celtic are getting the midfielders a little bit higher. They're getting on the half-turn and playing that ball quicker. Keogh's alert to it. But credit to Cali Thistle. Mark Ridgers, he's also been alert to it so far. But they can't continue to let that happen, because they will find a way through again.
Misunderstanding between Iwata and Johnston. He arrived from a club that Ange Postecoglou was at before he came here, the Yokohama Youth Marinos. Inverness up the pitch. Shaw couldn't quite get goal side of the defender.
It's good defending from Iwata. He reads that, just blocks Shaw off.
Abada. And that change by Celtic sees Jota move out to the left. It's a really good two-footed player, Jota, so he can play either side. When Abada's in the team, he goes left. It's Maida, he comes to the right. Starfelt. To play most of his Celtic career on his unnatural side. He's more comfortable playing on the right side, with Cameron Carter-Vickers obviously in there. Generally speaking, he's been forced onto his weaker side. He seems to have grown in confidence this season, I think it's fair to say. There were times he looked a little nervy last term, still more than capable obviously, but I just think he's moved up a level this season.
Yeah, I think he's been excellent, I really do. I think people look at Carl Starfelt, and he can, you know, he takes risks because he takes the ball and he can be caught. He's a really aggressive defender, wants to get tight, keeps a high line, uses his pace to get out.
Brilliant from Jota. And he's got support waiting. Kyogo's in there, Abada, others arriving. O'Reilly couldn't quite squeeze it back to Jota. It's wonderful skill over on that far side to first nick it away from, I think it was Wallace Duffy, and then he burns away from him.
Yeah, they're getting the gaps now. And behind that, Caley Thistle defends. Kyogo's looking for that earlier, made his move, and then they just try and almost walk it into the net. Caley Thistle get the players back, but they're causing problems now because Celtic midfielders, O'Reilly and Hatate, are starting a bit higher. Welsh and Allardyce are trying to do a double shift and get out to the wide man as well as take the midfielder, because the two in front, Billy Mackay and Jay Henderson, are trying to block that pass into the fullback, and it's making it very difficult because they're getting drawn over the pitch now, getting dragged out of shape. It's allowing Celtic to find those gaps.
Problem for Billy Mackay here. Looked like he was signalling for the medical team to come on. That's what's going to happen. Fairly innocuous.
Yeah, it's just a clash. It does stand on him.
Yeah, you can see the left ankle.
It's totally accidental for me. Billy Mackay, nonetheless, it's a really sore one.
He won the Scottish Cup when he was at Rangers, did Billy Dodge, scored in that final back in 2000 against Aberdeen. In fairness to Aberdeen, of course, there was the injury to Jim Leighton in his last game as a professional, and he was forced off with a broken jaw in the opening few minutes. There's Daizen Maeda. Clearly got an ice pack there on that ankle.
Thought it was tactical, obviously. Maeda struggling a little bit. But that just shows you the options that Celtic have. Abada's been excellent. A really good signing for them.
Still only 20 years of age. Kyogo probably the older statesman out there of the front three. There's Duffy for Inverness. It's a useful ball in as well. Well, up the pitch and almost in behind the Celtic defence. A really important block there by Danny Devine initially, and then he was on the stretch to ensure Celtic didn't ransack it.
Yeah, it was much more positive from Caley Thistle, getting bodies forward. It's a good ball in, it's defended really well by Celtic. They almost set up a counter-attack as well when they win it back. It's showing a bit more intent to go forward.
Nathan Shaw trying to get on the end of it.
He just can't get there. He doesn't read that it's gone in first time. Really dangerous ball in.
Should be Joe Hart. It is. FA Cup winner in England with Manchester City a decade ago now. Inverness were looking to cause an upset akin to the one Wigan Athletic produced a couple of seasons later against Man City. Gary Caldwell and Sean Maloney. Of course, Maloney set up that winner for Wigan. James McCarthy. That's Celtic, but barely got a game this season. It's John Robertson, of course, very much part of Caley Thistle, has been for a long, long time now. A couple of spells in the dugout. Indeed, he masterminded one of their famous wins over Celtic in this competition. And their record scorer, Dennis Wyness, scored the only goal against Martin O'Neill's team. Misjudged by Duffy. Jota Delicate ball in, Abada with a header. Away by Dees. See Billy Dodds and Barry Wilson are in conversation. Just out of your picture down to the left. Barry Wilson, one of the goal scorers actually in that infamous match from a Celtic point of view in 2000. There he is, talking to the manager. Another one of the goal scorers that night up on the gantry with us here, working for BBC Radio Scotland, and Paul Sheeran, who scored the third from the penalty spot that night. Deservedly takes his place as one of the greatest shocks in this competition's history. Still get them every now and again, as Hearts a couple of seasons ago and Aberdeen this season will testify. Thistle knocking out Premiership opponents in back-to-back rounds, and here's a chance for Scott Allardyce to stretch his legs. He needs to get that past Starfelt, because Henderson's in a terrific position, and when you're up against this Celtic side, you need to find your man in that kind of situation.
Yeah, I think he passed it just a little bit too early. I think he could have taken another touch, maybe made Starfelt make the decision to come towards him or cover the pass, but it makes it more difficult, you know, the closer Allardyce gets to him. I think he plays it just a tad too early. But it was a great run.
Well read by Welsh. He slipped through towards Shaw. Iwata closes the door. O'Reilly. Celtic are going to make a change, just a moment. And Oh Hyun-gyu is going to replace Kyogo, I understand. Of course, he was an injury doubt coming into this one. If this finishes 1-0, he is the man yet again. Make the difference on final day. But here's O'Reilly. Kyogo unintentionally pushes it back out to O'Reilly. And it's Celtic for the corner.
Yeah, he had Jota just coming in behind him, Kyogo. I think he shouted for it to the left.
Well, there's confirmation of the change. Kyogo's season is over. And wait till you see the reception he gets from the Celtic supporters who've grown to love him over the last 2 seasons. What a signing he has been. He just settles cup finals, Paddy.
Yeah, he does. He's so consistent. He gets chances because the way the team's set up, but his movement is exceptional. It really is. He's loved here, and no wonder. What a player he is. So important to this Celtic side. Not bad work for the season, is it?
Special hug from his manager, who said he signed him because he kept scoring against him in the J-League. O'Reilly's ball in. Starfelt couldn't quite get in the end of it. He was playing with Andres Iniesta at his previous club, Kyogo. A bad man to have around your training sessions. Poor ball by Abada.
Yeah, it changes it a little bit for Celtic with O coming on, more physical. Totally different player to Kyogo. It gives him maybe that target to hit. Abada obviously cutting inside. Maybe looking for that cut to the back post, not the best effort. But O coming on, he's got a chance now. Huge game for him to come on and get a goal.
So difficult for him to get starts. Welsh looking for Harper. Right, Iwata. picked up by Allardyce. As things stand, Celtic are going to win a 5th treble in 7 seasons. That is ridiculously astonishing.
It's incredible, it really is. I mean, you're used to seeing Celtic winning trebles of late, but when you put it like that, it's just ridiculous. It really is. And this season they've been relentless. You know, it hasn't been, not been at their free-flowing best today, but they've managed to find that breakthrough. They've so much control of the ball. And you feel that, you know, I've been saying this all game, they can change the tempo in an instant. Such a good team to watch.
It's not been a good watch for Ange Postecoglou. I'm looking down there, he's becoming annoyed at a couple of stray passes, a couple of decisions being made by Celtic defenders to get attacks going more quickly. You know, they've got this "we never stop" mantra. What an impact he's made. It wasn't an easy start for him either. This time 2 years ago we were talking about a crisis club.
Just shows you the job that he's done. It shows you why he is attracting interest, because he has totally rebuilt.
You can see why Spurs would be interested, because they currently are a crisis club.
Yeah, I mean, they are, because they just can't find an identity. They're still, you know, a top club in England, still got world-class players in the ranks. But the job that he's done here at Celtic is remarkable. It really is. Under the not the pressure, but probably the lack of expectation, the lack of excitement when he walked through the door, but certainly adored here by the Celtic fans, and no wonder. He's done an incredible job, he really has.
Well, Peter Lawwell and Dermot Desmond, they'll be desperate when he stays. Cali Thistle desperate for an equaliser. Sean Welsh with the free kick, but it's way too close to Joe Hart, and he looks up into the heavens for answers. He's not going to find any there.
You feel it's something that, you know, Inverness Caledonian would have been working on, trying to make the most of the set plays to cause Celtic problems. Just haven't been able to find that ball that can put them under pressure.
There's Cali Thistle's way. Inverness were actually the form team in the Championship going into the closing weeks of the campaign. Back at the final 8 games that were played, we're top of the form table. Wasn't enough though, that defeat at home to Ayr on the final night. Cost them a spot in the playoffs. Here's Wallace Duffy. Was part of that Inverness defence 8 years ago. My goodness, 8 years since they beat Falkirk here. They lost Carl Tremarco to that red card. Peter Grant equalised, cancelling out the Marley Watkins goal, and James Vincent won it for the 10 men. A great season for them. They qualified for Europe by finishing 3rd in the top flight. The former chairman, Dougie McGilvray, tipped them to be in the top flight within 10 years of their SFL membership being rubber stamped. And that is exactly what happened. In 2004. Celtic take the free kick quickly. Here's he's been caught as well. And now it's McGregor, and that should just about do it! Liel Abada surely seals the treble, surely steals history. Teed up by their captain, their stalwart, the man who doesn't lose finals, Callum McGregor. And it's Celtic 2, Cali Thistle 0. Surely no way back for the Highlanders now.
It's a tremendous goal, it really is, because there's 2 fouls in the build-up. First one here, heavy one in the middle of the park, but Celtic play it quick. And when it comes to great way to pass, another foul, but they keep going, and Abada, it's what he does so well, coming off that right-hand side. It's a brilliant run from Callum McGregor, excellent way to pass from Jota, and Little Abada coming off that right-hand side. We see it time and again, and he puts it into the back of the net. It's a goal that we're so used to seeing from Celtic, but it comes because they want to continue to play the ball, they want to move the ball fast. It's a brilliant goal from Celtic.
VAR's just making sure the goal's okay. It certainly looked all right. Billy Dodge is going to make a change. Dan Mackay is ready to come on. Well, that should be the goal. It seals another monumental moment in Celtic history. And it's the tireless Callum McGregor who sets it up, and he makes a heck of a lot possible for this football team.
Yeah, he does, and you know, Neil McCann spoke about Casey.
This is very tight, apparently, what we're hearing.
No, we're taking long enough, so it must be tight.
Well, you can have a look at it yourself here. It's obviously it's Callum McGregor who would be the man who would be offside. Sorry, Jota. Yeah, Jota. McGregor came in the next phase. So John Beaton, the VAR, Stephen McLean. Yeah, it's a goal. It stands! 2-0 Celtic! And the Celtic support celebrate.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because when you look at it without the lines, it looks like Jota, you know, he looks more offside than on. And the pitch is calibrated. And Celtic get their goal. Fantastic goal again.
Yeah, you felt if Cali Thistle were going to cause an upset, they had to score the first goal today. They find themselves 2 behind. And Liel Abada's 13th goal of the season, and he's not been a regular starter. Not really, certainly not every week.
But he's another one that comes up with important goals in big games. And that coming off the side when the ball's in the opposite side, he does it so well, he times it really well. He gets so many goals from doing it. But it comes from, you know, be easy for Celtic to stop, take the foul, the first one, especially because it was a heavy contact. But they just keep going, and they go again, and O gets fouled. Abada recognises that when the ball goes to Callum McGregor, and he just scores a goal that we're so used to seeing.
Yeah, they scored so many goals like that at Tannadice in one game earlier this campaign. They won 9-0. Coming down the left, coming down the right, finding the man in the middle, and to make all the difference.
This is dangerous as well for Cali Thistle because they have to go and try and get a goal to get back in the game.
It's an easy take for Rodgers this time, though.
But in doing that, they're going to leave the gaps for Celtic. You expect them to get another lift from the goal. You expect the speed and intensity in the game to go up from them. So it's, you know, it's an interesting one. Daniel Mackay coming on for Jay Henderson. A little bit of pace up there to maybe try and catch Celtic on the counter.
It does come through to Hart. Thought Dan Mackay interested momentarily. So yeah, the Celtic support now steeling themselves for an almighty celebration. It's a pretty obvious yellow card for the professional foul on Jota. It's Allardyce who was booked there as we head towards the final 20. He's onto it. It's an early ball for blocked by Devine.
That's a good block as well, really good play.
Celtic scoring their 145th and 146th goals of the season today. Almost in for another there, just evaded O'Reilly. He's still trying to get his players going. It looks like a hopeless task for them now, though.
It's a hard enough task.
Yeah.
With 90 minutes to play at 0-0, they're 2-0 down. They're running out of time, and Celtic look like they're going to go into the rhythm because Inverness Caledonian are pushing the bodies forward. And the spaces now for Celtic to exploit.
There's O'Reilly's in the middle. And the flag's gone up, he was offside. Of course, with the VAR, they've got to allow these moves to be completed before they come to the, at least the supporters, given the knowledge that they've come to that decision. Yeah, and if you think they're going to ease off, Celtic have scored 37 goals in the last 15 minutes of games this season. And when they did that in league matches, they gleaned an extra 16 points as a direct result of those late goals. Hence the "we never stop."
Yeah, but the game has opened up a little bit.
Oh dear. Mistake by Ridgers. Here's Abada. Matt O'Reilly. Ridgers holds on. O'Reilly, going by his reaction, feels he should have done better.
Yeah, it's a let off for Matt Ridgers. Makes a mistake, no surprise. Celtic are right on it. And I think he is disappointed there. Matt O'Reilly doesn't quite catch it. Got enough power in it to trouble Matt Ridgers.
And Mackay brought down. John Beaton not interested. Well, they've got 13 players out of contract to the end of the season, Inverness, which is, of course, now, if it stays like this, just over 15 minutes away. Their manager's not been offered a new contract yet either. You would think that must be in the offing when you consider he's made the most. Obviously, they were knocked out by Queen's Park. He's made the most of the reprieve they got. He's got them through to the semi-finals and then into the final, and all the money that comes with that.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Dodds has done an incredible job. I know that they've been looking to get to the playoffs. I spoke about that earlier, about the injuries they had, and they'd go down to the last game, but to get them into a cup final, yeah, they had the reprieve, as you say. You beat Livingston and Kilmarnock in that run, and you take Inverness Caledonian to the cup final. You would expect that if there haven't been conversations maybe about, wait till you get to the after the cup final, but Billy Dodds has done an incredible job here. He really has.
Couple of changes for Inverness. They're going to bring on Zach Delaney and Austin Samuels. And Danny Devine's return to the Scottish Cup finals over. And so to Billy Mackay, who missed that one in 2015. Been sold to Wigan in the January of that season. be the final game for a good number of these Cali Thistle players. Billy Mackay stuck in the 100 goal mark, which is still an excellent achievement over several spells. You would think he'd be someone they'd want to keep for next season's push, though.
Yeah, and Billy Mackay still has that, ability to score goals in the Championship, but his all-round play, absolutely fantastic. Great servant to Inverness Caledonian Thistle, and I'm sure that he'll feel that he's not done, especially with the goal scoring, with that record so close.
Couple of changes for Celtic as well. Rea Hatate and Matt O'Reilly are coming off. David Turnbull and Sead Haksabanovic will come on for the last 15 minutes or so. Leave their mark in the Scottish Cup final. There's two players that have had to make do with substitute appearances this season. They've had the rare start. Of course, James David Turnbull, someone you know well. Be a frustrating season for him in many ways. He's had the injury to deal with as well, but it's very difficult to get into that Celtic midfield. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think he will be frustrated because he's a player that wants to play football. He won't be happy with sitting on the sidelines playing a bit part. But when you've got the players in front of you, the performance levels, Hatate and O'Reilly today, Aaron Moy when he came into the team was outstanding, and he's had to wait, on the sidelines watching his teammates go and win, but he's still getting parts of the games, but not as much as he would like.
How good was that from him? Here's Jota. A bad first touch in a cup final. He's going to get another here. And he goes. It's going to go against Turnbull.
That was nearly perfect timing, wasn't it?
Couple of things to keep an eye out for in the days and weeks to come in the season that was. Thursday 10:30 on the BBC Scotland channel. Icons begins Friday the 16th of June. Celtic looking for a third here. And Thistle clear. One of the icons that will be featured on that series will be Charlie Nicholas. And for Celtic and indeed Aberdeen fans to enjoy. Charlie Nicholas once scored a penalty for Aberdeen in a shootout against Celtic, knowing that he was going back to Celtic straight after that final in the shootout, the first penalty shootout to ever decide the Scottish Cup final. It's the 33 years since then. Before all that, we've got the second leg of the Premiership playoff final tomorrow. Ross County against Partick Thistle. Highlights on Sports Scene in the evening. Live coverage on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. It's over the bar. Haksabanovic.
He's looking for a corner as well there, Haksabanovic. Something we've seen him do quite a few times this season. Come off that left-hand side and just bend it into the far post. Nice little set from Jota. Just into his path. Goes for power.
Well, a couple of changes for Inverness again. They're going to take on Roddy McGregor to the right. And when you're talking about Cali Thistle legends, the other guy coming on certainly falls into that category. Aaron Doran, who only went to Cali Thistle to get some first-team football experience on loan from Blackburn Rovers all those years ago. He's in his testimonial year now. And another of the 2015 vintage that won this competition. And on he comes. And I think we said it in the semi-finals that had Aaron Doran stayed clear of serious injury, he probably would have got on to, with the greatest respect to Cali Thistle, bigger things. But they've been the beneficiaries, and he's been excellent for them down the years.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Liam. Aaron Doran, initially before the injuries, really exciting player. But, you know, as you say, Cali Thistle get the benefits. And it's not a bad career to go and win a Scottish Cup at Cali Thistle, become a legend at a club. It's nice for him.
Turnbull. Banda wanted it to the right. Oh, will get it to him now. Neil Abada off target. Already left his mark on this final. It's an absolute live wire, Neil Abada. He just fits into the Celtic team so well when he plays. Followed by Jota. Celtic back into the Champions League groups next season, automatically into it. Highly likely to be bottom seeds though. Performed too badly this season, just didn't score enough. Cali Thistle look for a route back into this, but it's too powerful for Dan Mackay to do anything with it. Another who'll be departing. He's a Hibs player. Returned to Inverness for this loan spell. Thistle version. Just to outline Celtic's dominance in domestic cup competition in recent years, they've only lost 2 of the last 30 Scottish Cup ties. They've only lost 3 of their last 55 domestic cup ties all told. Remarkable record. Here's Dan Mackay! Oh, where on earth did that come from? What a ball! And what a header from Dan Mackay! And perhaps Cali Thistle aren't done yet. 6 minutes to play, and they are back in the game, back in the final.
Oh, what a goal it is as well. Daniel Mackay coming on to have an impact. With a really good semi-final performance as well. What a cross it is. Such a dangerous area. Dan Mackay just peeling off the back of a Wata with a finish the match as well. Fantastic goal from Inverness.
Well, well, well. It's not over yet. He was man of the match in the semi-finals, Dan Mackay. And he's just given Cali Thistle a chance. But here's Jota. Roddy McGregor has it back. Well, it's going to be a more interesting last 5 minutes or so than we were bargaining on, James.
Yeah, without doubt. It gives Caledonian Thistle something to go and chase now. A realistic proposition. What a cross it is.
It's outstanding, isn't it?
It is incredible. Just shaped round the back of that defence. And Dan Mackay, timing of the run is excellent. His header is brilliant. It's a really good goal from Inverness Caled's point of view. And now they've got something to chase down and try and go and get that equaliser.
And you take it to extra time. Haksabanovic fouled. I mean, that's one of the crosses of the season. There's been plenty of them. But Wallace Duffy just carved that ball out, and Dan Mackay did the rest. And Postecoglou's got something to think about in the closing stages.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't ventured forward too much. Of course, they're chasing the game, but what a goal to get your side back in the game. Celtic will continue to play, continue to probe, but it gives Inverness Caled that slight bit of hope. They can go and get themselves level in this game. They've got nothing to lose.
Johnston to Turnbull and Abada. Still expect Celtic to complete the job. The Inverness fans have been given renewed belief. There's a head knock, I think. The game will be stopped, and it sounded as though there was going to be 5 or 6 minutes of injury time added on at the end of this. And obviously this stoppage will be added on top of that. Well, they're as well just going for broke now, aren't they?
Yeah, they have to. They have to. You know, they know the clock's obviously ticking, but they just need one chance. They need to make sure they take it. But they have nothing to lose. You know, they've come from a position where people are expecting perhaps Celtic to go and score 3 and 4 and put the game to bed. All of a sudden, they're a goal behind. Absolutely nothing to lose. They're as well going for it. And even if they lose a goal in the process of going for it, at least they've tried to get themselves back in the game.
Alistair Johnston. The biggest compliment you can pay Alistair Johnston is that Celtic have not missed Josip Juranovic since he left.
He's been another incredible signing for Celtic. So assured in defence, really good going forward, comfortable on the ball, great energy. He has been a magnificent signing.
World Cup star with Canada. Haksabanovic. It's the break of the ball. Turnbull out to Abada. Turnbull. It's attacking it on the 6-yard line. Open up a little bit for him. Sad Haksabanovic is in! Denied by Ridgers. That was the cup right there.
What a save it is from Ridgers. Great pass from McGregor. Ridgers does well to stand up.
Fair play to Ridgers. The Invernessian playing in goal for Caledonian Thistle. Here's Jota to the back post and worked on its way by Harper. A look at the save.
That's really good play. Callum McGregor just playing into the path of Haksabanovic, and Ridgers stands up, waits for Haksabanovic to take his shot and spreads himself really well. Right foot keeping that out at the back of the net.
Final 10 seconds of the 90 minutes. We're about to find out what the stoppage time's going to be. 6 minutes confirmed. It's Johnston.
Roar of encouragement from the Caledonian Thistle fans earlier.
Can they fashion a chance? Celtic looking to finish it here. Lovely ball by Abada. Jota! The treble yell from the Celtic supporters. The treble yell from Jota. History. History, boys. Celtic 3, Caledonian Thistle 1. And Celtic will stand at the top of Scottish football.
That is an outstanding cross from Leila Bada. It really is. A great way to pass from just to run on it. Usually you see it flashed across, but it just stands it up to the back post. Inch perfect to Jota, who takes a touch and puts it into the back of the net. But it's all about the cross, the run from Leila Bada. The cross is magnificent, it really is. And Jota brings it down on the chest, off the thigh, into the back of the net. It's definitely game over now.
Celtic change. Jota has his say. He has his moment. Soon he'll have another winner's medal. And this is a nice touch because James Forrest's going to come on. Having not featured in cup finals under Postecoglou, one of Celtic's most decorated players comes on, and he will pick up his 22nd winner's medal and take him level with Scott Brown. Forrest chases. We'll have a word about James Forrest perhaps a little bit later when they go up to get their winners' medals. But the way Celtic flick into life, I'm loath to come to James for his man of the match just now, because here they come again, but that's right through to Ridgers. James McFadden, man of the match tag.
Yeah, I mean, it was just made a little bit easier there by Jota finding the back of the net, but he's the one that's continued to try and make things happen for Celtic. Comes up with the assist for the second goal and manages to get his goal to cap it off. Not Jota at his absolute best, but he kept going, gets his goal, gets an assist, gets man of the match. Not a bad day's work for Jota.
There's Doran for Inverness. Breaks to Haksabanovic. There's Forrest. The Celtic fans enjoying themselves, and I can tell you that Hampden is literally bouncing here. I think the most I've ever felt Hampden shake was when Lee Griffiths scored those 2 free kicks against England. This place was incredible that day, because Joe Hart, the Celtic keeper, was the man in goal for England. It's the Celtic fans who are inside the stadium and on the brink of history. Oh, well, it's 1, 2, 3, waiting for a pass.
Yeah, just trying to be too clever there. Abada had made the run in the middle. But I think, Liam, credit has to go to Inverness Caledonian for the way they performed and made it difficult for Celtic.
There's an O, blocked by Dees. And now Doran. Final couple of minutes of stoppage time of the Scottish Cup final. I'm going to leave just that playoff final second leg in the domestic season for 22-23 will come to its conclusion. Celtic Thistle 2-0 up on Ross County with a trip to Dingwall tomorrow. Forrest. A piece of the action as well. Haksabanovic onto the left and over the bar.
They all want him in the act, don't they? James Forrest does really well down that left-hand side. And Haksabanovic, we're used to seeing him chopping, putting onto that right foot. This time he goes down the left. Not troubling Mark Bridges.
Could be no denying that Celtic and their supporters are going through a golden period in this club's illustrious history. They'll hope their manager hangs around. For today, though, they will celebrate. The moment's coming. There's still another chance here. Forrest across, away by Harper. And that's it, it's all over! Scottish football history rewritten! World football history rewritten! A maximum high for Postecoglou's Celtic. A blistering 8th treble is Celtic's. A 5th clean sweep in 7 seasons is Celtic's. A moment of huge consequence and celebration as Celtic move to the top of the Scottish football treble tree. It is a 41st Scottish Cup. It is 17 trophies, won out of the last 21. A decade of dominance has completely altered the record books. And Ange Postecoglou gains entry to an exclusive club as a Celtic treble-winning manager. He joins Messrs Steen, O'Neill, Rodgers and Lennon in doing so. The Postecoglou chapter, which began with scepticism, has produced some of the finest moments in the annals of Celtic Football Club history. And thanks to Kyogo with his first half goal and the 2 in the second half from Abada and then Jota. Dan Mackay's riposte wasn't enough for the Championship Highlanders, who put up a stern test. But ultimately, Celtic were massive favourites for a reason. And it is celebration time. It is history time, James McFadden.
Yes, it is. You know, Caledonian Thistle put up a decent enough fight, but you just felt that Celtic always had that change of gear. You know, dangerous going forward. They're relentless, they really are. They run out comfortable winners in the end. And a treble for that man there is incredible. It really is. To finish off the season, what has been a wonderful season for Celtic. They've got the job done.
Yep, they certainly have. Joe Hart. He's the veteran stage of his career, but this will still taste extremely sweet. Does he stay, though? Does the manager hang around? And he sees these scenes of celebration. I asked the question last week on the radio when they celebrated their league trophy day. We're going to hear immediately now, after Celtic win the Scottish Cup final, 3-1 against Caledonian Thistle, from a man who is a 100% record in cup finals, the Celtic captain, the Celtic legend, Callum McGregor.
Callum, many congratulations. Can you sum up your emotions after that one?
It's hard. You know, really tough game. Finals are never easy. There's always emotion, anxiety, everything that goes with a final. First half we weren't great. We got the goal, which was excellent. Second half we go up a little bit, get the second one, then we put ourselves under a wee bit of pressure towards the end. But again, great comeback to score again. Just listen to this place, it's rocking again. The fans were outstanding, and that's what it's about. Successes for these guys.
You say that finals aren't easy, but this is your 5th Scottish Cup win. It's also your 5th domestic treble. Is this one even more special because where you were just a couple of seasons ago? Yeah,
but that's it. You got to bounce back. You know, when you suffer defeats and disappointment in football, you know that's the one thing that's guaranteed. You have to pick yourself up get the guys to rally around each other. That's what we did. The manager came in, the group of boys that were left, you know, we felt like we had something to prove, and it's taken us 2 years to get our trophies back, so you know, we need to enjoy this. The boys have worked ever so hard, you know, really tough cup runs, really tough in the league, and everybody's just got to enjoy the day. Sun's shining and absolutely brilliant day for the club.
Did you have your job cut out, trying to cut out a lot of noise about the manager's future in the build up to this one, and what are you thinking about that now?
Not really, to be honest. You know, your cup finals, that's the only focus in the building. The boys were outstanding, the manager was outstanding. That's what we're about, is one game at a time. We attack everything exactly the same, and like I say, we just have to enjoy the day.
Callum, well done. Congratulations.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the officials, I think, will get their medals first. Their customary boos when they announced that John Beaton and his team would be getting their mementos for the day. And this is very much Celtic's day. It's the president of the SFA, Rod Petrie, placing the cup on the table. The trophy presentation will be made on the pitch this year. Jota scoring that third goal that put the match beyond Caledonian Thistle in the end, despite their late exploits. These Celtic players missed out on the treble last season. They've made up for it this term. And a word about Caledonian Thistle, Billy Dodds and his players who put up a good fight today. And many thought they were going to get an almighty spanking this afternoon. It didn't work out that way. Made the most of their reprieve after being knocked out by Queen's Park. A few days later it became apparent that Queen's had played an ineligible player. Caledonian Thistle were restored. Came through Livingston and Kilmarnock of the Premiership before beating Falkirk in the semis. And it's disappointment for them. And the supporters who are enjoying themselves at some of the hostelries in Glasgow in the build-up to the final, which kicked off that bit later this year. And now they've got to turn their attentions to promotion, because that has to be the big aim for them now. They need to come back up to the top flight. And just a word as well about Aberdeen and Hibernian, who have both been beneficiaries of Celtic's victory today. Aberdeen will go straight into the Europa League playoffs, so that means, like Hearts this season, they are guaranteed European group stage football, the very least in the Conference League. And Hibernian's fifth place finish is now also good enough for the second qualifying round of the Europa Conference League. Hearts will bump up a round as well. They'll start in the third qualifying round. Job well done, I think, Rod Petrie saying there to John Beaton, who was taking charge of his second Scottish Cup final. And the rest of the officials there, including the Fourth official, David Dickinson. Stephen McLean was on VAR duties. There is the Celtic manager. What's going through his mind right now? Is he preparing for next season with this set of players? And triumphant Celtic players will get their moment now. They won the League Cup against Rangers in February. They won the Premiership title, back-to-back league titles. And they've just won the Scottish Cup for the first time since 2020. And that lifts Ange Postecoglou into a club currently of just 7 who've won 5 trophies or more as Celtic manager. Willie Maley, Jock Stein, Billy McNeil, Martin O'Neill, Gordon Strachan, Neil Lennon and Brendan Rodgers. You can add Ange Postecoglou to that now as well. His winning percentage is magnificent as well. It's over 75%. Only Martin O'Neill's got a better winning percentage than Postecoglou, and it's 6.5 dozen. They're both very tight in that regard, albeit O'Neill took charge of more matches. Callum McGregor to go off in Scotland duty. Those huge Euro qualifiers that have to come. You won't be thinking about that right now, though. World football history has been made here on Glasgow's south side today. The 22-23 Scottish Cup winners are Celtic, the treble winners, the 8-time treble winners. I'm not sure we'll ever see the like again, James McFadden. 5 trebles in 7 seasons, and it's outrageous.
It is incredible. Celtic have been relentless. I think we might see the like again if they can keep a hold of their manager, that's for sure. But, you know, to go on that run of dominance, and to be honest, they don't look like slowing down. They don't look like slowing down. Tremendous achievement, massive reward for the season that they've had this season. The football they've played, relentless pressure on opposition, relentless goal scoring. It has been phenomenal. Heavy favourites going into today. They deal with that pressure and they go and get their treble.